tonight. We're taking a real flight tonight, babies. You're flying on Coyote Airlines tonight, baby. So I just want you to kick back, relax, unfasten them old seat belts. Babies, nobody's going to fall out of the sky today. Nobody's going to get bumped around either, man. We got smooth sailing all the way to paradise, babies. Don't even think twice about it. We're going all the way, all right, just like them old raspberries did back in the day, man. Well, I can remember that when that song come out. And me and my lady of the time were singing it together. Oh, it was so touching and so descriptive of the moment, baby. We was encouraging everybody, go all the way, babies. Let's get down, let's do it today. Hey, hey, hey. And we did a lot too, babies. A lot of love was shared back in those days. It was innocent, childlike stuff, really. Well, at least, I know from this old man's perspective looking back, maybe at the time we kind of thought of it as, adults at play because, we thought we were 20-something. We were okay. You know what I mean? We knew what we were doing. Yeah, right. Well, in a way we did, babies, because it was a sharing of a great wealth of love. I've been very blessed in my life, man, to have been in some beautiful situations with some very beautiful people and had some really poetic and powerful moments because of it. I'll tell you, and it's all laid a basis, a foundation in my heart for what's going on today in the real world as we, cruise along here at 35,000 feet, 722 miles per hour. I know it's not very fast. We get there in 30 seconds in a UFO. You know it. But, baby, we're being archaic today. We're flying backwards in the sky and just having a good time doing it, We're flying in at 707, one of the most inefficient airplanes ever made. Burn fuel faster than you pour it in the tanks, man. But it's a good flight that we're taking tonight, babies. And guess what? We got our engines tuned up just right. They don't even need fuel to go, babies. They just haul ass because they like doing it. You don't have to give them no fuel. They're motivated little jet engines, babies. That's why I say we're never going to fall out of the air. Because, babies, we got an angel over here and an angel over there and an angel in front and an angel in back and a whole crew of them holding us up, So, shoot. It's kind of like riding in the gilded carriage, when Cinderella went to the ball, man. I was like, wow, babies. This is the high-flying airline, man. Of course, the pilot's a little hairy now. You got to watch out. He does like to do loop-de-loops and little hammerhead stalls and stuff every now and then. Tends to think of a 707 as his own Piper Cub, and he just thinks he can do whatever he wants with it. He forgets that people back there, hanging out. So tonight he's going to restrain himself so the party can continue all night long. Right here on the Coyote Medicine Show. Only on the Hazy Radio Network. Now, somebody sent me a message earlier today. Can't remember who it was, but somebody been insulting one of our videos. I don't care. I love them all, babies. They can say what they want. Everybody's entitled to their opinion about how things are and what's going on. You know what I mean? As long as you don't go start, tearing folks down and, trying to run them out of town and stuff like that. But even if you do, baby, it's all on you. The people that you run off are better for it. Don't you get it? You see, in our history, there's a little bit of mystery, Sometimes we tend to misjudge one another because, we're so conditioned by our reality to make assumptions. Just because somebody's doing this, then they're going to be doing that, and so forth, It's kind of like automatic pilot, Keeps the old airplane flying steady. Well, what that means is you're always going to go down the same course no matter what. I've seen a lot of this in my time, But the reason being that we go on autopilot is because we're just trying to train ourselves out of it. The more you get into it, the harder it hurts, and the worse it feels to be that far off course. And so then you make a little mid-course correction, get yourself back on track. Pretty soon you're flying the crab like you know what you're doing, man. And just having a great time doing it, too. Pretty soon you'll be flying the polar routes, just like we are tonight, man. Well, we're going more than polar. We're going solar, man. We're heading right for the sun, baby. Oh, and don't worry now. We're not going to get burned up. Babies, we are the life that lives the high life, babies, and we know what the sun really is. See, and we can see past the illusion. Do you understand that? Why do you think they talk about why the sun's doing and putting out all these magnetic storms and blowing big flames in the fucking skies, you know? Why do you think they do that? They want to keep you interested in the flaming ball concept, you know, and that's what she is, baby. Big old flaming ball, you know, the sun is, the radiant life of love, but it's really a big old atomic blast from us, right? Well, that's what we see in the visible illusion in which we live. But since we're moving more towards an ascendant state, oh, baby, that rolls off the tongue kind of slowly, haven't it? But since we're like, coming into a more ascendant state, babies, yeah, we can see things as they really are. We can let it ride, babies. We can just walk away from the old ideas because we don't have to live them anymore. We see what's actually there. So we reach out right now, touch your heart, help you open up, babies, and, get into the mood here on this flight so the party's happening just right. Babies, we got to unravel, we got to unwind, we got to do a little fine partying as the divine little pianist plays on and on and on. Yeah, we got the piano man right here on board with us today, man. We fly the good airline. I'm telling you, babies. There's a hot tub back there, too. Oh, there's plenty of beer in the fridges, man. Just help yourself, If the stews are a little too slow for you, man, just get down there and you can mix your own cocktails, too. You can roll your own joints, do whatever you feel like. There's an ample supply of medicinals towards the rear of the plane. There's a special little section with a green leaf on the door. That's the place, babies. That's where your supplies are. We got rolling papers and everything to go with it, too. So whatever's your fancy, that's what we do. Here on the Coyote Airlines, you betcha that Coyote Airlines on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network, the coyoteest network around, because I'm 8 hours a day, 5 days a week here, flying around with you, babies. Sometimes we just let the music take us for a nice little sail, because it says so much. Sometimes we just speak with our heart through this music, man. And of course, those performers doing it back in those days were speaking through their heart too, man. Ooh, you should have been around then. It was some awesome times, baby. It was great awakening, well, you know what? Hell of a lot like what's going on now, man. Only this time, it's the whole frickin' world. Not just a bunch of kids acting up, trying to change things. This is the whole frickin' world. And babies, we are going all the way. All the way tonight, all the way tomorrow night, all the way into the 4th of July, which they say is Independence Day. Let's see what happens, shall we? I think I might have a little firecracker or two hidden away here somewhere. I don't know. I could always take a quick trip to Wyoming, I guess, pick up a few more. But they're such wimpy little things these days. You can't buy real firecrackers anymore. Well, when I was a kid... we could talk about blowing urinals off the wall and things like that. Ooh, baby, we had some firecrackers, huh? And I had a friend in Wyoming, too, baby. Oh, baby. This has been a fun life. It was a good time to be a kid. I had a lot of stress in the childhood. So we had some outlets, some creative outlets, and that was one of them, man. Little trips to Wyoming to supply our friends with fireworks, especially around the 4th of July, man. I'd come back with a trunk full, And it gave us an excuse to go up there and party with the Wyoming chicks for a little bit, If you could find any. Dang, that's a remote place up there. You get outside of town, there ain't no life living except for occasional jackrabbit, and they're freezing to death out there, poor thing. No, it's not that bad. But Wyoming was rather sparsely populated at the time, and the area where I went to get them was pretty much out there in the middle of God's green nowhere, but some of the most gorgeous country on the face of the earth. I'm talking about running Highway 89 out there, going north out of Utah and into a little section of Idaho before you slip on into Wyoming. I think that's how it goes. Gosh, I can't remember now. It's been so long I ran that way, but gosh, what a gorgeous place to be. I spent a lot of time there in my younger days up in that country, that little valley, up that little alpine valley up there. I can't even remember the name of the place now, south of Jackson Hole there a ways. Spent a season in Jackson Hole too, man. I love that place. How about you? You ever been up there, the old Grand Tetons, just south of Yellowstone there, man? What an awesome place to be in. I worked at a little joint called Jenny Lake. Well, it wasn't that little, big old resort down there on this Beautiful mountain lake, man. Oh, just as pristine as they get, man. Water so clear you can see right to the bottom. See the rocks on the bottom, man. Down 50 feet down or so. It's amazing, man. Uh, and just incredible, take your breath away scenery. Kind of like here in Crestone. It's just that kind of place. Incredibly gorgeous. Well, this little alpine valley south of it continues the theme. So does the valley on the other side of Yellowstone to the north of it. It continues that theme too. That's some of the most awesomely, just south of Bozeman there. That's some of the most awesomely gorgeous mountainous country you'll ever frickin' see in your life. The energy up there is just so high. Well, you know where paradise is, man. It's right in that country. But it's so darn cold and snowy there. I mean, I'd go through West Yellowstone in the winter, and there'd be 10, 15 feet of snow. I mean, you think you're at the North Pole. I start to laugh like Santa Claus all the time, you know. Can't even find a place park truck, go get a cup of coffee. There's snow everywhere. You know what I mean? All you can do is just keep on rolling, baby. It's pretty miserable up there, you know. And I've been stuck up in that valley up on the north end up there. Some can we couldn't get my load off, so I was there for a day or two till we got it all figured out and got things paid for and so forth. But son of a gun, it was cold up there and snowing and blowing, you know, the whole time I was there, and I couldn't get a motel because I couldn't get back in. You know, one of those situations you get into every now and then. But one of the most awesome and amazing times I've ever spent up there in Montana. I was out there in the middle of nowhere, parked alongside of a little neighborhood kind of bar place, you know, one of those made out of logs like they do up there in Montana. And it's kind of like everybody from 100 miles around comes in there to hang out, you know. So I had a good time, you know. I couldn't really party down because I was on call 24/7. I didn't know when I'd have to go drop this load. They wouldn't say, go ahead and go play, Mr. Coyote. Oh, no. I had to stay straight and sobrietous so I'd be ready to drive my truck. It, well, you know, kind of took the wind out of my sails a bit. But guess what? You can't stop that kind of magic. I just had the greatest time, and it's hard to explain exactly what went on there. I mean, the people were quite gracious, and we had a good time with them, of course. But there was more than that. You know, we learned all the wildly political stuff that had been going on there. You know, how some of the billionaires and the royals have been messing around with huge tracts of land up there and buying and selling, and you know, people were getting run over in the process. And the whole thing was changing. There was this religious cult in the valley that had kind of taken over the local politics and stuff. And everybody was being a little bit upset about that. But at the same time, I was just getting higher and higher and higher. I mean, the energy shifts I went through, just hanging out in that little valley, that magical little valley. You just can't believe the mountains there are just breathtaking. The scenery there is just spectacular. It's like you can see the glow on the mountains. It's just gorgeous. It's like seeing the sun shine through the mountains. I remember some effect up there happening at that time where the mountains really began to kind of glitter, kind of goldish like, you know. It's been so long ago, but now I'm remembering that, babies. And wow, it was like, and I think that was like a time when I began the communion with that white buffalo energy too. It must have been. Because as I look back on it now, it seems like the connection was made then when those mountains were glittery gold that day, you know. It wasn't like, oh, like a spotlight in your face. It wasn't that bright. It was glittery. It was kind of, there, not there, kind of mystical. But there it was, you know. And babies, oh wow. I just sat there for hours. You know, I had to keep the truck running, stay warm, but I just sat there for hours watching these mountains. And it was more than watch, you know, it was like living in their energy, in the royal energy of love that came pouring down off of those mountains into my heart that day. It's just so off the charts incredible. I didn't care that I had to get out pretty soon and go run around in 3-foot drifts to get the rest of this load off. I didn't care a bit. I loved being there. You couldn't have took a stick of dynamite and blown me out of there. And you know, if I was crazy enough to want to live there, I'd certainly do it too. But you know, I could see the writing on the wall, and it wasn't going to be the best place to be You know, it's a hard life living in that kind of country to start with. Just staying alive takes a lot of work, you know, firewood and so forth. You can't rely on any of the modern conveniences because you might lose your power for days on end when you're out on ranch out there and you may not even have it. I've lived pretty remotely like that myself. So it can be pretty trying, just staying alive. But, oh, these are some ruggedy people, and they're beautiful souls and hearts. You know, the ones that stuck to it, stayed it out up there, it can be a little rough and tumble, you bet, and a little bit, ooh-wee. I won't even talk about that. But beautiful people, gorgeous hearts, everyone, man. You know, the energy of the white buffalo lives strongly up in that country. I'm talking about the headwaters, you know, like, what is that? The headwaters of the Missouri. Yeah, up in that country. Oh, my goodness. That's up around Bozeman, you know. Wow. So, babies, it's nice to be able to get out and experience the different little slices of paradise we have all across this earth. You know, and it's really, I feel very honored and blessed to have been able to share some of those moments with you, you know, let alone having lived through them. It's been beautiful. I talked this afternoon about an experience down the Grand Canyon last time I was there, 2001. It was awesome. This Montana experience in its own way, amazing. See, this is what I did during my trucking years. I went through lots of changes. I had the time to myself, and I had the ability to journey through time and so forth, and experience the mystical and so forth. So, babies, I was doing it. You know, I was walking those outer limits. I was participating with the land, the energy of the land, wherever I was. I still do. You know, I learned that trick long, long time ago. You know, I think spirits, angels up in the mountains as a kid taught me to do that. And I used to go climbing around on those mountains up there, how to be living and breathing with the rocks and the sagebrush and the scrub oak and the birds and the bees and the buffaloes and everything that lived there. You know what I mean? All of that stuff combined together is an amazing experience. And I learned to live in energy fields. I just did it intrinsically. I didn't know that's what I was doing as a child. I just thought everybody did that. I didn't realize people didn't always sense the energy of the land and didn't feel connected to it in the way that I did. It was a stunning realization, kind of like finding out that you know, some of the illusions they've been telling you about really are illusions. And having to let go of that. Babies, it's a blessing to be alive and living where you are and participating in the energy of that place. I don't care if it's downtown Boston, you're stuck in crap up to your eyeballs. It's still a beautiful place of being in. And you're doing a whole lot better than just managing. You're coming out of it, babies. You're bringing forth the beautiful in some of the ugly places. That's just as amazing as having to live out there in the wildness of Montana, man, and all that cold and snowy weather and having to deal with all of that, man. It's just about the same thing, only a whole lot more powerfully beautiful as you come back into your being, because the transformation is so great. For those that have been really far away from the heart, had to do it for the sake of the environment they lived in, you know, survival, according to fear anyway. Now these ones come back. Holy cow, what a blossoming. What a beautiful experience to be alive and witness. And you know what? You wouldn't believe. We get some real support back there in those northeastern states that are known for their toughness and their nasty attitude towards people. Step right over you, lying there bleeding to death on the sidewalk. I don't know. That kind of stuff has gone on. I think people have learned, though, and are opening so much now that old paradigm of don't give a shit is out the window. I think the new one of sharing and caring because you share because you care, etc., etc., etc. All we do now, babies, is walk away from all of that. All that old stuff. This is what we let go. But we don't have to, like, you know, say, oh, I'm not going to do that anymore. No. It's like this. It just dissolves away. Your behaviors change. Your view of things changes. So then you change right along with it. You just grow. And you catch on so doggone fast. So doggone gone fast. Stuff that has taken some of us out here years to stumble through, you get in, like I say, 35 seconds, 20 seconds. Babies, I mean, no time at all. Bing, your light is on. And it's a beautiful thing to see. So babies, again, the touch of the heart, of the gracious heart, the one heart that lives in us all, the universal heart, right here on the Coyote Medicine Show, only on the Hazy Radio Network. I hope you're having a great time partying with us tonight, kiddos. It's like, wow. We're going to toke down here as soon as we get this old music going here once again. And babies, send out the love, and send out the love, and send out the love, and send out the love. Oh, babies. Oh, yeah. Right here, again, on the Coyote Medicine Show.